Hello, everyone. Welcome to our comprehensive update on the second week of the federal trial of Sean Diddy Combs, a case that has captured widespread attention due to its serious allegations and its prominence within the entertainment industry. This video provides an in-depth overview of the key developments from court proceedings, drawing exclusively on publicly reported information from reputable sources, such as court documents and credible news outlets. Our objective is to deliver a clear, respectful, and informative summary, focusing on the legal aspects of the case while maintaining an educational and documentary perspective. We strongly encourage viewers to consult official sources for accurate and detailed information. Let's explore the significant moments from Week 2, along with the broader context and implications of this ongoing legal matter. Background of the case. Sean Diddy Combs, a renowned music mogul, entrepreneur, and cultural icon, is currently facing a federal trial on charges including racketeering, conspiracy, coercive behavior, and related offenses. As the founder of Bad Boy Records, Combs has been a pivotal figure in shaping hip-hop and popular culture since the 1990s, collaborating with artists like Notorious B.I.G. and Mary J. Blige, launching the Sean John fashion brand and hosting high-profile events. The allegations against him, which involve claims of abuse and manipulation, have drawn intense scrutiny due to his influential status in the music industry. The trial is not only examining individual actions, but also raising broader questions about power dynamics, accountability, and ethical conduct within the entertainment sector. The case stems from a federal indictment unsealed in September 2024, which alleges that Combs led a criminal enterprise engaging in activities such as coercion, forced labor, and other offenses to fulfill personal objectives. The prosecution is tasked with proving these charges beyond a reasonable doubt, while the defense seeks to demonstrate that the interactions in question were consensual and do not meet the legal threshold for criminality. As of May 20th, 2024, the trial remains ongoing with no final verdict, and all allegations are under judicial review. Week 2 built on the foundation laid in the first week, introducing critical testimonies and evidence that are shaping the direction of the case. Cassie Ventura's testimony. On the second day of Week 2, Cassie Ventura, a singer and former artist signed to Combs' Bad Boy Records, continued her testimony, which has been a cornerstone of the prosecution's case. According to court reports, Ventura described a relationship with Combs spanning over a decade, beginning when she was a young artist seeking to advance her career. She alleged that Combs exerted significant control over her personal and professional life, coercing her into participating in private events that she felt restricted her autonomy. Ventura detailed the emotional toll of these experiences, explaining how her initial aspirations for stardom became entangled in a dynamic where Combs' influence overshadowed her sense of self. A pivotal piece of evidence discussed during her testimony was a 2016 hotel surveillance video obtained and publicized by CNN, which allegedly captures Combs assaulting Ventura in a hallway. The footage shows Combs chasing Ventura, grabbing her by the neck, and engaging in physical aggression, including throwing her to the floor. This video, widely reported in the media, has become a focal point of the prosecution's argument, aiming to establish a pattern of alleged abusive behavior. Ventura's testimony emphasized the power imbalance in their relationship, noting that Combs' status as a music industry titan influenced her decisions and limited her ability to assert independence. She described feeling trapped by his promises of career advancement, which she alleged became a mechanism for control. The defense, led by attorney Mark Agnafiello, challenged Ventura's account by arguing that their relationship was complex and mutually consensual despite periods of conflict. They presented communications between Ventura and Combs to suggest that their interactions were not solely coercive, highlighting moments of collaboration and mutual decision-making. However, the 2016 video remains a significant obstacle for the defense, as its visual evidence of physical aggression is difficult to contextualize as consensual. Legal analysts note that Ventura's composed demeanor on the stand, coupled with her detailed narrative, may bolster her credibility with the jury, though the defense's cross-examination aims to introduce reasonable doubt about the extent of coercion. Testimony from a male escort. Another key witness in Week 2 was a male escort whose testimony provided a contrasting perspective on the events in question. According to court reports, the escort described being hired for private events involving Ventura and Combs, initially under the impression that the engagement was for a celebratory occasion such as a birthday or special event. He testified that Ventura offered him payment for participating in activities which he characterized as consensual and directed by Combs. The escort noted that he was aware of Combs' identity during these encounters and that the interactions were conducted with clear boundaries, with Combs providing instructions but not engaging physically with him. However, the escort also recounted a troubling incident where he witnessed Combs acting aggressively toward Ventura during a private encounter. According to his testimony, he observed Combs engaging in what appeared to be a physical altercation with Ventura, which aligns with her allegations of abuse. This account reported in court adds weight to Ventura's claims, though the escort's description of other events suggested a degree of mutual agreement in some instances. The prosecution used this testimony to argue that even if certain activities appeared consensual, the broader context of control and intimidation invalidated true consent. The defense conversely highlighted the escort's statements about payment and voluntary participation to challenge the narrative of coercion. The conflicting accounts from Ventura and the escort underscore the complexity of the case, particularly around the issue of consent. The jury is tasked with evaluating the credibility of each witness, weighing factors such as their motivations, the consistency of their statements, and the corroborating evidence such as the 2016 video. Legal experts suggest that the escort's testimony could be a double-edged sword, supporting Ventura's claims of abuse in one instance, while complicating the prosecution's portrayal of consistent coercion in others. Legal arguments and evidence. The prosecution is constructing a case to demonstrate a pattern of alleged coercive behavior by Combs using Ventura's testimony, the 2016 surveillance video, and other evidence to argue that he manipulated and controlled individuals for personal gain. They contend that Combs leveraged his authority as a music industry leader to create an environment where individuals like Ventura felt unable to resist his directives. The 2016 video is particularly damaging as it provides visual evidence of physical aggression, which the prosecution links to broader allegations of abuse. The defense, led by Agnifilo, counters that the interactions were part of a consensual, albeit tumultuous, relationship. They have introduced evidence such as text messages and emails to suggest that Ventura and Combs maintained a collaborative dynamic at times, including professional and personal interactions that were mutually agreed upon. The defense argues that the prosecution's portrayal of Combs as a criminal mastermind orchestrating a coercive enterprise is an overreach, emphasizing that personal disputes do not equate to federal crimes like racketeering. However, the 2016 video remains a formidable challenge, as its depiction of violence is difficult to reconcile with claims of mutual consent. The court is also reviewing additional evidence, including digital records, communications, and materials collected during federal raids on Combs' properties in early 2024. These raids, conducted by Homeland Security, uncovered documents and electronic data that the prosecution is analyzing to support their case. While specific details of these materials have not been fully disclosed in public reports, they are believed to include financial records and correspondence that could shed light on Combs' business practices and relationships. The prosecution and defense are engaged in ongoing disputes over the admissibility of certain video evidence, which could play a critical role in shaping the jury's perception of consent and coercion. Broader context and related lawsuits. The trial has brought renewed attention to several civil lawsuits filed against Combs, which, while separate from the criminal case, contribute to the broader narrative of allegations. For example, producer Rodney Lil Rod Jones filed a lawsuit in February 2024, alleging mistreatment and unpaid work during his time producing tracks for Combs' The Love album. Jones claimed that Combs' actions created a hostile work environment, though these allegations have not been proven in court. Similarly, Joey Dickerson Neal filed a lawsuit in November 2023 alleging misconduct by Combs dating back to 1991. Other plaintiffs have come forward with claims, some involving serious accusations, but these cases remain under legal review and are not part of the criminal trial's evidence. Statements from former associates such as Gene Deal, a former bodyguard, have also surfaced in media reports. Deal has discussed the high-pressure environment of the music industry and his observations of Combs' professional conduct, but these accounts have not been introduced as evidence in the criminal trial. The court is prioritizing verified evidence, such as witness testimonies and documented materials, to ensure that unproven claims do not influence the proceedings. This focus on substantiated evidence underscores the judicial system's commitment to fairness, particularly in a case involving a high-profile defendant like Combs. The trial has also sparked discussions about the music industry's broader culture, particularly around issues of power and accountability. Combs' status as a cultural icon with decades of influence over artists, producers, and business ventures raises questions about how authority can shape professional and personal relationships. Legal analysts note that the case could set precedents for how allegations of misconduct are addressed in the entertainment sector, potentially influencing future legal actions and industry practices. Challenges for the court. The trial presents several challenges for the court, particularly in managing the sensitive nature of the testimonies and the high-profile status of the defendant. The judge is tasked with maintaining an impartial courtroom, ensuring that the jury focuses on the evidence rather than external factors such as media coverage or Combs' celebrity status. The presence of Combs' family members, including his mother and children in the courtroom, adds an emotional layer as their reactions are closely observed by the jury. Similarly, the attendance of Ventura's husband, Alex Fine, during her testimony introduces additional dynamics that the court must navigate. The explicit nature of the allegations, particularly those involving coercion and abuse, requires careful handling to avoid prejudicing the jury. The judge has implemented strict guidelines on the presentation of evidence, particularly regarding video materials, to ensure that only relevant and admissible content is shown. Legal analysts suggest that the jury's interpretation of consent will be a critical factor, as the prosecution must prove that Combs' actions were non-consensual and criminal in nature. The defense, meanwhile, is likely to continue emphasizing inconsistencies in witness accounts and the complexity of personal relationships to create reasonable doubt. Public and industry impact. Beyond the courtroom, the trial has ignited significant public discourse, particularly on platforms like X, where users are discussing the allegations and their implications for the music industry. The case has prompted reflections on how power dynamics can enable misconduct, with some commentators calling for greater protections for artists, especially young and emerging talents. Advocacy groups have highlighted the need for systemic changes to address issues of coercion and exploitation, drawing parallels to other high-profile cases in the entertainment sector. The trial's visibility has also amplified scrutiny of Combs' business empire, including Bad Boy Records and his other ventures. While the criminal trial focuses on specific charges, the related civil lawsuits and public statements from former associates have fueled speculation about the broader operations of Combs Enterprises. However, these discussions remain outside the scope of the trial, and the court is focused on evaluating the evidence directly related to the federal charges. Looking ahead, as the trial progresses, the prosecution is expected to introduce additional witnesses and evidence, potentially including more digital records and testimonies from individuals familiar with Combs' operations. The defense will likely continue to challenge the credibility of witnesses and the interpretation of evidence, seeking to undermine the prosecution's narrative of a criminal enterprise. Legal analysts anticipate a lengthy trial given the complexity of the charges and the volume of evidence, with possible outcomes ranging from convictions on lesser charges to acquittals on more severe counts. A plea deal remains a possibility, though no indications of such an agreement have been reported as of May 20th, 2025. The court's ability to manage the trial's high-profile nature and sensitive content will be crucial. The judge's rulings on evidence admissibility, particularly regarding video materials, could significantly influence the jury's deliberations. The jury itself, composed of individuals selected through a rigorous process to ensure impartiality, will play a decisive role in determining the outcome, weighing the testimony's evidence and legal arguments presented by both sides. Important note: we emphasize that this is an ongoing legal case and all allegations are still under review in court. No final verdict has been reached, and the judicial process is designed to ensure a fair and thorough evaluation of the evidence. This video is intended to provide an educational overview of Week 2's developments based solely on publicly available information and does not speculate on the case's outcome or past judgment. We strongly encourage viewers to seek out official sources such as court documents or reputable news outlets for the most accurate and up-to-date information. Stay informed. If you are interested in following this case, consider subscribing to our channel and turning on notifications for future updates. We'll continue to provide detailed summaries of key developments as they become available, always striving to present information responsibly and respectfully. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below, but please keep discussions focused on the legal aspects of the case and maintain a respectful tone. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next update. Disclaimer: this content is based on publicly available information from court reports and media sources. We do not verify the accuracy of all details and encourage viewers to consult official sources for reliable information. This video is for educational purposes and does not intend to defame or harm any individuals mentioned.